The attack lasted for about 3 hours. It actually was not the first time that Zionist agitators had appeared to harass students. During the week that students had their encampment, virtually every night, Zionists would appear and they would blast music to keep students awake during the night, employing torture tactics that we see a lot being used on our own political prisoners. And it came to a head when Zionists arrived in a much more organized force in much greater numbers, and they were demonstrating a clear intent to harm the students in the encampment, a clear, more than disregard for human life, but an active desire to harm students using bear mace, tear gas, pepper spray, launching fireworks into the camp in an effort to set the tents on fire. We saw students responding to these outside agitators with a tremendous amount of courage, with a tremendous amount of perseverance. They demonstrated steadfastness. They were they were at this point all out for Gaza. That's all I have to say. These students were prepared to defend the encampment because their goal is and has always been to apply pressure to the university. And we saw that the university itself, realizing this and realizing the threat that the encampment poses to their genocidal interests, allowed this Zionist assault to continue unabated for 3 hours. We saw campus security stand by. We saw UC police department, the campus police. They did absolutely nothing. Whereas in a heartbeat, they would respond to protesters, peaceful protesters. We saw actual fascists on at UCLA, and the university decided that these fascists were more in line with their genocidal interests. And so students had to hold it together for Gaza. Students had to hold it together despite the university's repression and despite these aggressors. We saw about 25 hospitalizations, I think is a number that I got from one of my comrades at the encampment. And nearly everyone I talked to who was there during the first few hours of the Zionist assault got pepper sprayed, maced in the face. But ultimately, I think this was a moment for students to remain steadfast. And I can't stress enough how courageous these students are. I mean, they were willing to put everything on the line for our families in Gaza.